Kathy, tell me more about Smudge and how you smudge.
Thank you, Gord. Let's talk smudge. I'm really excited about smudge. Maybe more excited than I even realized I would be, because I love what it does. I love things that solve problems, and smudge was the answer for me. What to do with my environment to keep it fresh. I truly love smudge, and it's actually a daily occurrence for me. So here I have the smudge that I've designed. So a little bit of a history of smudge. When I was researching smudge, I could almost not find any time when smudge was not used. I had no idea. And when they described what smudge was used for, it was the same reasons we use it for today. To move heavy energy, to help a person get rid of the old that they didn't need. Of course, they used more colorful language, but that was exactly what they were saying. I also researched a bit into the native Indian reason for using smudge, and they traditionally used plants that were in their environment, and it was a method that collected them with an intent. And again, we are using the same thing. My smudge that I designed is from plants in my area that I grew, I harvested it, and I dried. And what's so interesting about all this is it was a discovery for me. Of course, you want the traditional items in smudge, the cedar and the sage. But I had a problem with my smudge always going out. And so I researched what can you do to keep the smudge from going out. And they recommend that you grind part of the cedar so it's more of a crystal, and use this to keep the smudge from going out. And so I have two kinds of cedar in my smudge, the ground cedar and the dried leaves. And then the research went on for me. I was really happy with what the smudge did, like exceptionally happy, but I wanted more. There was some kind of satisfaction I was looking for. And I've dubbed this the beautiful. I didn't just want the smudge to move the heavy energy. I wanted the smudge to help me dream, to find what's satisfied, to find what's beautiful in my life. So now I was on the hunt of what plant to grow and dry to create the beautiful. Well, I'm a flower person, so I had an abundance of all different kinds of flower in my 3 or 4 gardens outside. And I just started drawing all of these flowers and burning them to see what they created. And from this I found 2 items that really created amazing change that I call the beautiful. It was the mint, which brought a freshness and freeingness to the environment. And the lavender with a little bit of a flower bloom. It brought an uplifting relaxation, almost like a smile. I'm really finding it challenging to express in words the feeling it created. And that's why it's so important that you try the smudge so you can see its real life work that it does. Because every word I said will not be as clear as you having an experience of the smudge. So a lot went into building my smudge. Trial and error until I got what I wanted. I started 2 years ago, so the original cedar that was ground had been drying for 2 years, and then the leafed cedar is 1 year, and then the rest many months. Of course it's organic, of course no chemicals were used, but it's also how I treated my smudge. I respected it. I did ceremony on it. I invited it to be its fullest self. I invited it to be the beautiful. So that is why I'm sorry, but the only word that comes to mind is exhilarated. I'm exhilarated to have created something so effective and so beautiful. I'm excited. I can't help it. So I've prepared this smudge here from my Smudge Beautiful. This is a lot in my shell. This that I have here would be enough to do a whole house. Every floor, every room, and a person at the same time. You don't need to put this much in your bowl, the tiniest amount burnt. And that's the other thing I truly want to say. You only need a tiny amount. It'll do the job. One package can do 4 or 5 smudges because you truly only need a small amount. So when you're lighting your smudge, I would prefer you not to use a match. We don't need you burning your fingers wondering. I got this lighter. It's for a fireplace, but I find it incredibly effective because I just want to burn the right amount of smudge at a time. I just want a little bit of smoke like this. I mean, if you want a ton of smoke, go for it. Burn your smudge faster. It'll be wonderful, but you can get the same effect from this tiny array of smoke. It is powerful stuff. So once your smudge is going, don't be at all surprised if you have to light it more than once, because you don't really want to light the whole thing all at once. And feel free to add pieces in. I know I've put the whole amount in at once. So your smudge is now lit, and many like to do this. Just put the smoke towards yourself. If you have a particular part of your body that's aching, put the smoke towards that. For me, it would be this arm that I fractured last year. Occasionally it still aches a little bit, so I would put the smudge towards that. And feel free at the same time to relight little pieces. I'm not trying to make the biggest smoke cloud of the universe, just a little. Now I walk around with my lighter and my smudge, and I can walk in any fashion I like. Many people like to walk in a circle and let the smudge expand into the room. Or you could go right to the spot in your house that feels the heaviness. You can do it any way you want, as long as the smoke arrives in the location, you have a successful delivery. Obviously, when you're doing it, it's not a good time to be thinking about your grocery list and things like that. Be mindful of what you're doing, that you're taking this smudge. And notice again, I'm only lighting little pieces at a time. I really don't want a gigantic smoke cloud. I've done it that way and it worked excellent, but I'm again telling you, you don't have to. The smudge is powerful, and a little bit will get you a long distance. So I've walked around my house, I've brushed it against me. I expect to feel better right away. Now sometimes it takes a little bit, an hour or a day, for other shifts to happen, but I generally feel the freshness of it working right away. Now it's an emotional feeling, it's a lot of things. You will have a way to know what's happening to you, and that's something you can discover yourself. But even if you did not feel anything right away, the smudge knows its job. It's built right into it. If you light the smudge, it will work. As long as you can light the smudge, we have a successful delivery. Lighting smudge is like getting a healing. You're healing your environment, you're healing yourself, you're giving a gift to yourself, a clarity of being able to think clearer. It's a gift to yourself, and that is why I'm so excited about smudge. It is an expression of what I hope to build around me, and my dream for smudge is to hear everywhere I go, let's pass the smudge. That everyone know that smudge is there and available for them, easy to work, all ready to do its job, and all you have to do is light it. Now, another benefit of not doing a ton of smoke is we won't let off any alarms in your house. And some people like to open a window a smidgen, again, so they don't set off any alarms. The smoke alarm, of course, is what I'm speaking of. Again, I hope that you will take the step to see what smudge can do for you. We invite you to purchase my Smudge Beautiful, the two kinds, the smudge with mint and the smudge with lavender flower at Gentle Bear Healing. And again, have a wonderful day, and let's pass the smudge. Thank you.